hi and welcome everyone. My name is Jenny Matthews and you're here with She of the Sea with Yachting International Radio. This is our space where we're just going to be connecting with the many amazing, inspiring women in our industry, sharing their journey and hearing about their passions and projects. We're really super excited to introduce our first guest. This is Hanna.
Hi.
And for those of you that haven't seen the post already, short introduction into Hanna and why we're so excited to be chatting with her. So Hanna is on motor yacht Laurel, who alongside motor yacht Loon have been working with YachtAid Global to deliver some desperately needed relief and support to the Bahamas. So thank you again so much for making the time. And like I said, on your day off, it's real connection.
Of course, it's my pleasure.
Great. Well, I just wanted to say it's like super inspiring, and I think that's a sentiment that's felt by most yacht crew that have seen what you guys have been involved with. And I'm really curious to hear how you guys initially got involved in the project.
So we were up in Newport for a boss trip, and then kind of were waiting to come down for a shipyard period back to Rybovich in West Palm Beach. And this tropical storm started to form up down south, and it delayed our leave a little bit. But as soon as we got a good slot for coming back down, we started to head out. We actually ended up going quite a long way further east, just almost off of Bermuda, and then kind of coming down quite far east as pretty much keeping a 500-mile CPA for the storm. So every time, it was like Dorian was kept such a close eye on the whole trip down. And it was literally as soon as Dorian started to slow down, we slowed down as well and just waited until it sped up again and we could move around. But during this whole thing, it became pretty obvious that a lot of help was going to be needed in the Bahamas, and we were heading that way anyway. So Captain Roy Hodges, he started contacting YachtAid Global and also the owner as well, and seeing what we can do since we're heading that way. And also we've got one of our crew members, Shawnee Davies. She's involved with Big Dog Ranch Rescue as a volunteer. So she contacted them as well to see if any help was needed. And then also our chief officer, Vickers Boats, then got involved with it and started organizing all this dog rescue part of it. So we tried to make the most of what we could in the short time that we could get in there. And we knew that we were coming from the east, so we could get in straight to the Bahamas instead of people coming from Florida that would have to wait for the storm to pass. So kind of sneaked in from the back and got in there quick.
I think that's amazing. I like how it sounds like it was impromptu, but you obviously knew that you're in a unique position. Yeah. I think a really beautiful part about your guys' involvement is how supportive the owner of the vessel has been.
Yeah, he was so our owner, Tom Galisano. He loves animals, and there was no hesitation for him to reply that go for it. He actually just only emailed a yes. That's all he said when the captain asked for permission. Yeah. So it was a simple yes and go for it. And then, yeah, it was after that we were just adrenaline rush through the whole thing. And yeah, every single crew member was in it with their heart and just waiting at what's going to happen and just digging in there. So
yeah, I can imagine it's obviously a pretty unique operation to be involved in. Had any of your crew been involved in anything like this before?
No, not a single one of us before. So it was really awesome to see all that excitement and just pushing through it all. So yeah, once in a lifetime chance, I think.
Yeah, I think it's pretty special. I think it's pretty amazing that you guys all got to experience that.
Yeah.
I'm also really curious from like a logistics and like what the day-to-day, like what was the preparation like for that? It sounded like there was some serious cargo being moved, and obviously the dogs as well.
We just, as soon as we got into the Bahamas, we just started shifting up all our furniture and everything just kind of out of the way to make as much deck space as we can for loading the cargo. And also, at a point, we were expecting 90 dogs to come on board in cages. So we needed to make a lot of space for everything. But we managed to get that done. And after that, we're lucky we've got such a big tender garage for 3 tenders on the lower deck. So it was as soon as we get one tender out onto the sun deck, the rescue tender, then we had a lot of space in there. And we managed to fit all the dogs in the tender garage. And luckily it's AC ventilated, so it's all good for the pups. And it's actually probably one of the best spots because it's low on the stern. So barely any movement down there. And then all the actual cargo we managed to put on our main deck aft, and then into all the like food, perishables and things managed to go inside into the interior of the vessel. So but pretty much every single floor area was covered with drop towels or something to just keep it safe and not damage anything. And luckily nothing was damaged on the boat either. So it's just the preparation and getting everything.
Yeah, I can imagine there was some pretty serious hours being pulled over those.
Yeah, I think, we had, but we're lucky we've got 21 crew that was on board for it. So it made it really quick to get everything loaded on and off. And also we had the volunteers when in Bahamas, in Nassau, when we were loading everything onto the boat, the guys on the dock were helping out. So we had a chain of probably 30 people easily getting everything on, and then the same taking it off. Just, everyone was helping out. Whoever was there, it was amazing.
Do you have a rough idea of how much you actually brought to the island? Like, I think I heard it was like 50 ton or something like that.
It's somewhere between 30 to 50 tons.
Yeah.
So it was,
yeah, that's good.
it's a lot, considering I think YachtAid Global so far has supplied 100 tons. Wow. So we did actually manage to put quite a lot of it in that little trip from Nassau to Freeport to get the supplies over. So,
that's great. I'm also really curious to hear, like, when you actually arrived to drop everything off, what was it like? What were you met with there when you pulled in?
We were met with quite a quiet marina. There was plenty of tugboats standing in. And one thing I've never ever seen is one of the tugboats. It was really quite a narrow channel into the Bradford Marina. So one of the tugboats was on the side. They're like next to each other. And they actually moved the tugboat to make space for that. And I've never ever seen a tugboat move just to make space for something bigger. So that was awesome. We were just thanking them, like, thank you so much. But it was a very quiet place there. Axis was there also. There's a support vessel, Axis. They were offloading cargo, and so there was some people around. But there's also the cruise ship area where some boats come. That was completely quiet. It looked to be intact, but there was no one there, so it was just shut down. Kind of eerie, but still not too much damage.
Yeah,
it's like something's definitely happened there.
Yeah,
so,
go for it.
No, we didn't really. We just were staying on the dock side there. We didn't go into Freeport anything, so we only saw the dock.
Yeah, I can just imagine the eeriness, and after seeing, I'm sure you saw all the footage of it going through. Must have been a very strange experience.
Yeah, it was.
We've been hearing a lot also about Motor Yacht Loon. They've obviously been really active alongside you guys. Did you come into contact with each other at all?
There was some contact in between. As far as I know, I wasn't personally in the contact there, but just finding out how everything's going and how they can get in to marinas. So a bit of contact there, and obviously Loon made those amazing videos, which made it easy for all the other yachts to see how the access is and what the situation is in different areas. We personally were in contact with Access because they went to the same marina, so we needed to know if it's possible to access in there, and so that's what we worked with. But yesterday we were lucky to meet up with the Loon crew in Fort Lauderdale at LMC.
Yeah.
So those guys are amazing. They've been working so hard for the whole time, and they were starting to prep before the hurricane hit. They were already in Nassau. So they are the guys that made it all happen. So it's amazing.
I think when you're sharing the story, one thing that keeps coming up for me is in part of that video, which, like, I'm not gonna lie, I cried like a baby. Like, as soon as I saw the dogs, I was like, it's all over. And then I heard the voiceover. I mentioned to be your captain, and sounds like it's a debrief perhaps, and he's talking about how, you know, most of our careers as yachties, we're protecting an asset, but this was a chance for you guys to really have an impact. What was it like to feel that and to hear that?
It was so both speeches that are on that video were made from a safety security meeting that we had before we started to load any cargo in Nassau. So it just hit everyone pretty hard. I think at least all the girls kind of had a tear in their eye when Roy said all these words, and
all the guys are like, no, it's fine.
Yes. No, keep my sunnies down. So yeah, it was, you could definitely feel that we're up to something that we haven't done before, and something that's really going to help out other people. So it was a quiet meeting, but everyone was, just excited after that and ready for it.
Yeah, I can imagine that'd be something that, I mean, if not your careers, your whole life, so that's something you'll hold on to.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. Oh, remember that time in Bahamas we saved 50 dogs?
Yeah. It was so fun.
It was awesome. It was once in a lifetime.
Did you have any moments at any part of the operation that really kind of stood out to you? They're like really special or impactful snapshots?
It's pretty much that whole time that we went through. There's nothing specifically that comes out of, like, stands out. It was just so much happening in that little 2-day period. And I think everything's just deep in there. So it's nothing I can really specify.
It's just also big. I mean, I can hear
that.
Yeah. And so what's the aftermath been like for you guys now? What have you been up to?
After that, we've been pretty much switching straight into shipyard mode. And obviously there's been a lot of interest regarding the videos, and YachtAid Global had the press conference yesterday in Fort Lauderdale where we met the Loon crew as well. So that was interesting. But obviously there's a lot of relief efforts that still need to be done. And even in that press conference, there was asks of if we can go back again and collect more things or take over more things. Unfortunately for our side, we're doing a full main engine overhaul, so we're grounded pretty much right now in the marina.
It's nothing just the main engine.
Just nothing big. But So unfortunately, we're unable to help. But anything, we've had a lot of interest to Vickers, the chief officer, about how other boats can go help, especially with bringing out more dogs. There's a waiver for bringing the dogs from the Bahamas to USA at the moment until about 5th of October. So if there is any other vessels that can bring more dogs out from there, then it's possible right now, but then it's way easier than what it will be after that. So it's
great.
Yeah.
Well, and I think, well, as a dog lover, but anyway, just in general for all of the relief, I think it's fantastic that you guys have not only done it, but then you've been able to share it on social media platforms, because I think that's raising a lot of awareness, which is incredible.
Yeah, everyone really loves dogs. So.
I don't think we're not allowed them. Yeah. You guys have a boat dog,
We do. Our little Sterling.
You might have been jealous with all of
If you have a boat that's got a dog, I mean, that little thing, he just makes everyone smile. Every time someone sees him, you'll just get your doggy voice on. Oh, little. And everyone's gonna be happy again. So.
Yeah, amazing for morale.
Yes, amazing. He is definitely a crew member. He is not just a dog. So.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not gonna try and talk about dogs too much, but is he on board all the time, or is he comes with the owner?
He is Captain Roy's and our purser Stephanie. He's their dog. So every time we've got Captain and Stephanie on board, then Sterling is gonna be there. And I mean, he's done 2 Atlantic crossings, and he spent the last 7 years of his life on boats. So he's really grown up here.
He's got a great CV already.
Bigger than most of ours.
Thank you so much for sharing about the efforts you guys have been involved in. Like I said, it's super inspiring for the rest of us to see, and hopefully it encourages more boats to be involved in it. I wanted to start and then move into a little bit about yourself and your career so far, and how you came to be in yachting.
I was so I'm from Finland, and we don't really have yachts in a way. We're a bit far up north, so it hasn't really been a big thing up there. We do have little sailboats and plenty of lakes that you can cruise around in, but I never really grew up with them, and I never really knew that was an actual possibility to work on those big white things that float and go to fancy places. But I ended up just traveling around, and I think it was in Nice where I met someone in the yachting industry, and kind of things started clicking in, oh, you can do that, and you can be outside and not be like the traditional academic working route that you do in Finland. And then I just took a chance and ended up on yachts, and being a Finnish person, that generally we tend to plan everything very finely. You always have your plan B. So I actually went to UKSA in Isle of Wight and took the 6-week course of how to be a deck crew member, and just wanted to play it as safe as I can, to know that I've got some preparation for the industry to help me find a job and secure a job for hopefully this season, because I don't know what else I'm going to do. And luckily, actually, my company that I was working for in Finland, that does building management systems, they ended up giving me this study leave. So they gave me 3-4 months off of work so that I can go try this thing. And if it doesn't work out, that I could still go back home to Finland and return to my old job. So
that's great.
But yeah, I kind of never went back after I started. So, but yeah, I got lucky. Everything which is something I believe in, is everything happens for a reason. And for me, choosing that UKSA actually helped me get my first job a week after I finished with my courses from UKSA, because the captain had someone before from that school as well, and he knew everything works out. So they found me, and they needed a girl as well, which is awesome. And I actually ended up having the bosun was a girl as well.
Really?
So my first boat, I learned everything from my bosun, Olivia Stead. And she's actually got her officer of the watch now, and she's working on another boat. And
it's fantastic.
So, yeah, I think, because it's awesome. I've learned from a girl, and after that, I've only worked once with a girl. It's kind of cool because she told me, like, you got to do this, and this is what you need to do, and it just makes it easier to get in everything. But yeah, after that, it's kind of just been working on boats and cruising around. Been lucky with all my captains, most of my officers, and everyone's been really supportive with having a girl on deck. And yeah, so
I think that's amazing.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's great that you your first bosun's a woman. I think it's a real showing that the times are changing in yachting. There's a lot more of us out there, and it's fantastic to have that kind of like base level of knowledge from someone that shares your journey.
Yeah, that definitely helps. And just all this She of the Sea that you guys are doing, I think it's just making it more available for women to get into it. And you can see you can be there. You can do the job. You need to be a bit stronger on your mind just to push through it all. But you can do it. There's nothing that's stopping you.
And in the end, it's often that the extra or the different challenges that give you just that little bit more experience that you can call on when you need it. It's a high stress job. So I share the same sentiment. I think it's a really positive part of it. I'm curious to hear when you first started, did you always know that you wanted to work on deck specifically? Was there something that drew you to that side over the other?
Well, in my office work, the day that I decided that it is going to be on yachts and it's going to be on deck I was working at the office, staring at a computer screen and a wall behind it, not seeing outside. I was like, and I think it was coming to like autumn time, so it was getting darker and colder up in Finland. It's like, to do this, I'm going to be outside. It's going to be warm. I'm going to work hard and not sit on a seat. So that was, and I don't know, I just enjoy the physical side of the work as well. And so it was never really a question for me. It's just straight outside.
Great. Cool. Oh, that's awesome. And I'm really glad to hear that you prepared with UKSA, who do have a fantastic reputation. And it's really good to see that wave of people coming in. So that's great. And what's next for you? Do you have career goals or ambitions or?
I have started my OW modules. So I'm slowly working to that. Possibly next year would be the time to finish them. Mm-hmm. I was had an original plan of trying to get everything done this year, but it just felt like a lot was happening, and it's not one of those things that you really want to rush. No. In a way. It's a lot of stress. I feel that it's a lot of stress to just take that time, study for it, and I think you need to be mentally ready for just only focusing on that. So
yeah.
For me, it had to kind of be pushed back a little, but still in the back of the mind.
Amazing. I think it's really great to hear so many more women that have those goals of achieving that, and it is a real achievement. You know, that oral exam I think has about a 57% pass rate. So you know, like you need that time to prepare for it, but once you've got it, it's like a real achievement that you can really be proud of. So good luck with that.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel, as far as I've heard from other women going to the oral, you're already you're already looked as your girl. So you got to be even more prepared for any questions coming out from there, and you got to get them right. They'll drill you. Well, it's probably the same for men as well. If you start plumbering in something, then they will drill until they find something that doesn't qualify you. So you just have to be ready for it.
Yeah, well, obviously there's all opinions from the other officers and whatnot that have done this, but it really can sometimes depend on who your examiner is. You know, there's sometimes even some bias towards yacht people, but it definitely there is that extra pressure, I think, as women, and they're definitely looking for weakness. But that's all about being super prepared. And but I don't know if I did my oral exam with Fred Wilson, where you get like literally shot in the neck if you get something wrong. Nothing scarier than that. So it's really good.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about Fred, so he will prep you properly.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Yeah, well, I think I'm just like really happy to hear your story so far, and to like welcome you into the group of amazing women here, and to be able to share your story. I think we all know, like, I mean, I started the industry 10 years ago, and I didn't see another woman really until like year 7. So I'm really inspired to meet you and share your story with other women. And thank you so much for what you're doing. And say thank you to the rest of your crew for their fantastic effort.
Thank you so much. I will definitely pass on the message. And thank you so much for you guys for making this possible for women and just helping ladies share their stories and get in there. And just even, as like a lot of my crew now know She of the Sea as well, but they've been super supportive of it. And I think it's just gonna keep growing and growing. So
yeah, it's really exciting. It's such a joy to be doing this work. So
yeah, sure.
Awesome.
Keep at it.
Great. All right. Well, my name is Jenny Matthews, and you've been listening to She of the Sea on Yachting International Radio. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone, and we will be back soon with another amazing story and another amazing woman to introduce.